What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, if Oswald Cobblepot is walking down the road, do not, under any circumstances, pick him up. If you have to ask why, you just don't know Oswald Cobblepot. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to The Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
No, you're not. I'm John Wilson.
No, you're not. You're some impersonator.
I'm drunk off my ass.
What else is new?
Yeah. That's like saying the sun is up.
That's where you come in, Ron.
You know, I'm just totally befuddled here, okay? And I know I'm Ron Fortier. And hey, Zone 4 loyal Legionnaires, welcome to episode 288. Say a prayer we can get through this without being committed, okay?
Exactly.
Jeez. Whoa!
I'm always committed to my cause.
You committed to something. A minute ago, you're committed to that rapper.
And John, if there's anyone who really does need to be committed, it is you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for noticing.
So we can already tell what kind of episode this is going to be this week. A fun one. What were you guys thinking? But before we do get into it, we should mention that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us each and every week on comicspodcasts.com. And you'll find a bunch of other shows there to fill all your comic listening needs. So there you go.
People really have comic listening needs?
I think they do. They need to listen to Zone 4. Like,
you think so?
It's like a drug. They have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a drug.
That's what I've been told.
And if you're out there and you're listening to this for the first time, you're hooked now. Come back next week, and the week after,
right.
and the week after, yeah.
The first one's free, baby. You got to pay after that.
No, boy, will you pay.
And you'll pay through the nose. And the ears, consequently.
True, yeah. I'm not going to mention any other orifices. So, how about we talk about some headlines?
Texas has changed you.
Oh, shoot. Headlines up this
Yeehaw!
week.
That's what we're going to get from Brant from now on. It's going to be yeehaw!
Yeah, there is a rodeo up the street.
See, there you go. I told you.
All right, so most of our headlines this week, actually all of our headlines are TV and film related. There's just not much happening in the world of comics, unfortunately. I'm sure announcements will start flowing in as New York Comic Con approaches.
Yeah, and hey, you know, just to let the newbies listen, you will hear a lot of mentions about comics before the show is over. Please, please don't run away yet. Okay.
Yeah, no, we are talking about comics later on, but we all are big fans of TV and film as well, so we talk about it all. So
it's all related.
Exactly.
It's all comic related.
Hashtag I am comic related.
Notice the plug.
Yeah, always. Because if you don't have a plug, you have a leak.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
And we're going down with this show.
And if you have a leak, you have to change your clothes.
Oh,
God.
Now, hey, without digressing a whole lot, have any of you seen that absolutely abhorrent Depends ad with all these men running around bare-legged wearing Depends?
Yes.
Oh.
Thankfully, no.
I was scarred as soon as I saw that. I was like, you can't unsee something like that.
That's what I meant. So you guys be aware, okay? Get ready to shut off your TVs. It is by far the most obscene ad I've ever seen on television.
Definitely.
Oh.
Before we do get, speaking of TV though, before we do get into the headlines, I wanted to ask Gordon, because we mentioned this last week, a new show, Forever, debuted. Actually, they aired the pilot early, but the official debut was this past Monday and Tuesday with 2 episodes. And Tuesday's the regular night for anybody wanting to check it out. But we talked about it on the show. Ron and I have watched it, and we asked. Gordon seemed like he was interested in checking it out. So, Gordon, did you get to watch those episodes?
Yes, I did, and I enjoyed them very much. My short form review is those are the actors they should have hired for Elementary 2 years ago.
There you go. Yeah, and speaking of which, the analogy I was trying to remember last week, it was Sherlock meets Sleepy Hollow. That was the analogy.
Okay. Yeah, I can
Only
see that.
better.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I love the show. I think it does have elements of both of those. It's got the supernatural and it's got that detective sense from the medical examiner. And the second episode focused on a crime of passion, and there was more hints to this other mysterious being who knows his secret popping up. So
yeah, to paraphrase an old series, I love a good mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, these are the kind of shows that my wife and I will watch. And, 20 minutes into it, I mean, you get the murder, and then the show, the hero shows up and the sleuthing begins.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're sitting there tossing back, she did it, he did it. Oh, no, he did it for this reason, that reason.
Yep.
And so far, the first 2 episodes of Forever have played into that formula extremely well. And that's why we like it. It's very, very entertaining up until the final reveal. It's a good mystery show.
Right, exactly. I agree. John, did you get a chance to watch it?
Sadly, no, I did not.
Okay.
Okay, it's the butler who did it, John.
It always is.
I think you would enjoy the show, John. You should find out.
I saw it coming on, but after watching Gotham, it came on.
Yeah.
But I was too busy. I didn't get a chance.
Gotcha.
Actually, I don't know where it plays it in your neck of the woods, but here it came on because there's Gotham, then Sleepy Hollow, and it comes on after Sleepy Hollow here.
Yeah, that's right. It was after Sleepy Hollow. Because I remember hearing Sleepy Hollow in the background.
Yeah, I don't remember because I had already seen the Monday night episode. So
yeah, it really looks like, we talked about this last week too. It really looks like, the networks have 7 days, guys, to play with, and it looks like all the genre stuff that we're going to be really interested in are like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's like the top of the week is so heavy, it's insane.
What were you saying, Gordon?
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, John, did
that
you?
Was me.
Oh, what did you say?
I was agreeing that it was insane that they piled everything so high in the week, I mean, the only genre thing on Sunday that I can think of is Once Upon a Time.
Right. Yeah.
Resurrection. Yeah. Resurrection's going to be starting this coming Sunday, and it's got a supernatural sci-fi kind of thing to it too.
My wife is into that. I haven't really gotten into Resurrection. She watches it, so I hear it in the background when I'm on the computer. But
I've gotten into it recently. They had the whole first season on Hulu, and I was watching it because the premiere was coming up. So I'm up to episode. I think I've watched 1 through 5 so far. There was only like 8 episodes or something for that first season.
I know that's been happening a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of series are just doing these short runs, and like I'm old enough to remember when you got like 23 at least episodes.
23, 26 episodes.
Yeah, or 26. Yeah, you half a year's worth of regular episodes, and then you'd get the reruns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's never more apparent if you're in a store and you're looking at seasons this, and they have like a new show that's been on recently, and I'm, without thinking anything off the top of my head, and goes, season 1, and you look at the package, and it's so bloody thin, it's ridiculous. And then next to it, you have like Cheyenne, the old Clint Walker series, right? The entire first season, and it's 4 times the size of the package of the new one.
It ends up being 4 DVDs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Here's the money for your bucks. I mean, these truncated series, I don't know. Hey, more commercials, less story.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think it depends on the show. I think some shows, we've talked about this before, I think some shows are better served by that format and other shows aren't. Usually network shows are longer, but like you said, like Under the Dome, I think is like 12 episodes each season, and Resurrection had the short thing. I think stuff like Revenge and Once Upon a Time are still longer seasons. But yeah, it's weird. It's almost like the AMC format that a lot of these shows are going towards.
Yeah.
That ticks a lot of people off. You get like 2 or 3 episodes of Walking Dead, and then it's gone again for 3 months.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Well, that's teasing. That's really
That's
bad.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I agree totally.
I mean, I'm not even into Walking Dead anymore, and that's evil. You know,
Hey, and
because I
while
haven't
we're
seen it on Facebook.
if we ever get to topic time, but before that, I'm just kind of curious. A couple of things I want to throw out to you guys. One of my favorite, series experiences last season, or the start of this year, I should say. You go back that, we're still, chugging along here. Excuse me, was the HBO adult gritty crime miniseries, True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this thing won all kinds of awards. It was an amazing, amazing show. And true to its nature, the guy who wrote and created it, they just announced this past week online the stars for the second season. And again, they won't be the characters from the first season. Right. It's an entirely new season of True Detective with, taking place in another town. This time I think it's going to be in Los Angeles. And heading the cast for season 2 is going to be Colin Farrell, playing a seedy, corrupt detective, and Vince Vaughn playing a local crime boss. Man, talk about interesting casting.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about taking Vince Vaughn as the crime boss. Yeah, seriously, that's going to be a little tough.
You say that, John, and the truth of the matter is, if you look at his early film careers before he got into comedy, he did some really good dramatic roles, and I know he can pull this off. Besides, just like I say, it's again written by the same guy who created the series. Yeah. So
I think. Go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I am. I'm pretty much. I just wanted to, mention that got a lot of news on the internet this week because the original with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson was amazing. All right.
Yeah, they won Emmys for that.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 or 3 episodes of that so far, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. What I was going to say is, it's kind of an opportunity for Vince Vaughn to remind people that he is a serious, he can be a serious actor and kind of stretch him beyond that trap he's fallen into, which is all those cheesy comedy movies.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm reminded of Leslie Nielsen. Because people who don't remember, like, what is it, Voyage to Planet, or whatever, A Fantastic Voyage, or whatever, all that early classic science fiction movie, Neeson played all these great dramatic roles early in his career. It wasn't until he made Airplane that he derailed into comedy. Right. That's all people remember him for.
Yep.
The only time I've seen Vince Vaughn be even pseudo-serious was in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Really?
Mm. Yeah,
I haven't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I keep interrupting everybody.
Oh.
No, he did a lot of earlier stuff on that too.
Oh, he did.
When he was younger. Yeah.
He did a thriller with Vincent D'Onofrio and Jennifer Lopez, and I cannot for the life of me remember the title of it. But in it, D'Onofrio was some kind of a serial killer or something, and the feds had caught him, and they were looking for hard facts to try him or whatever. And what they'd done is created this alternate, or this what do you want to call it, visual reality machine that they could put D'Onofrio in to make him believe he was in this place, to reveal, the secrets of where he'd left. Oh, that's what it was. There was one final victim he'd kidnapped.
The cell.
And they had like 24 hours to find her. So what happens is eventually Jennifer Lopez and Vince Vaughn go into his mind to try to reason out where that victim is. Yeah. And find her and save her. And for the life of me, I can't think of what the film was called.
The Cell.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Brent. And again, it was another straight role for Vaughn, and he pulled it off.
He also played in a remake of Psycho. He did Norman Bates, and
there you go.
He was actually in Rudy, which I didn't know. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't remember that. But yeah, that Psycho thing, I've never seen it, but it was supposed to be a shot-for-shot remake of it, and it's kind of universally panned.
Yeah, it's the director actually just did essentially just remade the Hitchcock movie with different actors in color, and it's like, why do you want to see a remake when you can go and see the original?
Yeah. Now there was another movie. It was called A Cool Dry Place that I saw him in with who was it? Monica Potter and Joey Lauren Adams, and he played a single father who's an attorney, single father, and he turned into a high school basketball coach. So that was a more subtle kind of role for him too. It was pretty good movie.
So hey, props to Vince Vaughn, okay?
Oh, there you go. Props to Vince Vaughn.
He does more than comedy, people. Pay attention.
Oh. So with that, we should dive into some headlines.
Do we have to?
Before we run out of show. Comic book headlines. So this first one is kind of interesting. Well, it's dumb, but it's mind-boggling why they're doing it this way. Okay, X-Men Days of Future Past Road Cut is arriving in 2015. Now, here's the weird thing about this. The X-Men Days of Future Past DVD and Blu-ray is coming out next month.
October 15th.
Yeah, so they are re-releasing it, or just releasing this part of it maybe, next summer for the Road Cut.
The extended edition.
Yeah.
So why on earth...
With all 30 seconds of Anna Paquin, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not add it now? I don't understand.
Make it a DVD extra or something,
Yeah.
honestly.
You know why I think they're re-releasing it theatrically? Because this summer was seen, except for Guardians of the Galaxy, as a really crappy summer for movies. I know a lot of movies will be re-released over the next few months and over the Christmas season. I think this is a way for them to kind of get a little bit more pull to get some of that money back. And I haven't seen Days of Future Past, so I don't know if it's a crappy movie or not.
No, it's a good movie.
It's actually a good movie, surprisingly.
But here's the thing, Aaron. This harkens back to when they were doing this with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember rushing out to buy the first one when it came out, only to find out like 3 months later, out came Peter Jackson's extended one,
Yeah.
And boy, did that piss me off. And I went and bought the extended. But when the second picture came out, I said, I ain't playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept doing the same practice. So I'd wait for the extended. Now, echoing what Gordon just said, with all the films that were coming out this summer, the movie, the comic related films or whatever, there were some I wasn't going to miss, Winter Soldier for sure. Others I looked at and said, you know what? This is one of those I'm going to wait and actually pick up a DVD copy. I'm really not that caught up in seeing it in the big theater. And one of those was Days of Future Past. So the thought in my mind was always, when it hits, DVD and Blu-ray, I'll pick it up.
Right.
Well, I read this agenda today, and I'm waiting until next year to pick it up.
Now you have to wait again.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's awful.
I mean, if I'm going to buy it, I want to buy all of it, not just a piece of it.
It's so weird. It's just for her part, though. I mean, and I understand, everybody's complaining because she got cut out of the film or whatever. But man, that's just.
But she didn't do anything in much of the film, honestly.
I know she was. I mean, a lot of the characters that did cameos like that were just there for that one part.
Right.
I recommend the movie though. I think it is a really good movie, and especially with the hints at the next one, I just think it played really well. But it's just a weird way to do it, and like Gordon said, it's probably just about money in this case.
Of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, she wasn't integral to anything in the movie.
Right.
At all. I mean, in the original script, it was supposed to be her. After Kitty got stabbed, she was supposed to come in and take Kitty's power and, continue the thing.
Right. That would have made more sense. Yeah.
It would have made more sense, but they decided to go ahead and let Kitty sit there and bleed and continue to do it. So, but yeah, it just, I mean, I haven't heard anything that Anna Paquin is upset that she got cut out. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just a big old money grab.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of DVDs that do come out this year, I'm very excited about this. December, we get the DVD and Blu-ray of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yay.
Yes, around Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take one.
Yep, that went on my Santa's list immediately.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. I cannot wait to see it again.
And that's really a smart ploy on their part, because you know that, all right? I mean, releasing this thing on the 9th of December, I mean, how many families, are going to be putting that on Christmas lists, and when am I going to get Cousin Harry, and blah, 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 all right? It's just the perfect time to have this out.
Yeah, and it's a quick release considering it was an August film.
Right.
I mean,
right, but again, but that's what they're doing. They're really, wait a minute, the shopping season is coming. We got to get this baby out there.
Right, yeah, I mean, they're going to get every dollar they can, and I mean, they already made, $314 million, something like that?
Wow, more than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, domestically.
Worldwide it's around, domestically, yeah. I think worldwide it's around 600.
Probably. Yeah, and that's the Avengers numbers nearly. No, it's up there. No, it's not quite there, but yeah. Oh, man. So I'm excited about that. And we got a new extended TV spot for The Flash. Did you guys get the chance to watch this one?
Yep.
Cannot wait for the show.
Oh,
October.
I'm excited about the show. Every time I see the promos, I mean, and basically, I love the guy who's playing Barry Allen. I think it was great casting. I like what I've seen from the trailers and how they're going to play it up. And the thing that's got me the most excited, and we've talked about this already, guys, all right, and we've read interviews with the head writers and producers and whatever, and they're going to give us Flash's rogue gallery. And I'm like, all right. I mean, like we've said, aside from Batman, the best hero with a rogues gallery of super colorful villains was the Flash. So
no
that
doubt
should be a
it.
ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they're going that route and giving us like the true rogues gallery here. It's a fresh, I don't know, it's a refreshing kind of thing to see on a show like this.
Yeah, I can remember in the silver, in the 60s, the late 60s, when I was buying the new Flash, as a kid, and that was the appeal of that particular comic. Was this rogues gallery? They were so much fun. They were just great villains, all right? The most silly, the most bizarre, the trickster, their version of the Joker. Only, his name was James Jesse, played off of Jesse James, this hero,
Right.
And this goofball, Captain Cole, Captain Boomerang. I mean, come on, okay? It was like they were just great, and to me, again, that was half the fun of that book. That's why I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. I can't wait till they put Captain Cole in there, just because that's his nemesis.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I am worried about one thing though, that this becomes a rogue a week kind of thing. I hope they can avoid like the early days of Smallville.
Yeah, I hope they learned from that.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah.
Well, you have to think that one of the recurring storylines is going to be him trying to figure out who killed his mother.
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll play off with, the main story every week, plus the subplot of that continuing out, throughout the season.
Yeah. Plus, obviously we're getting that one crossover between Arrow and Flash, and I'm pretty sure we'll get more than that afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Especially with Captain Boomerang showing up on Arrow first.
Yep. And of course, I mean, like all major networks, they're going to be watching the ratings, okay? And I guarantee you, the first crossover they do between the two of them, it's going to spike like crazy.
Yep. Exactly. Were you going to say something, John?
Yeah, I was going to say, I do hope they follow the Arrow paradigm in letting things unfold slowly, rather than feeling like, we have to have every reveal happen in one episode.
Yeah. Well, Barry is always late, so.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but Flash isn't. So
that's true. Ooh.
But having seen the pilot, it's there's a lot of really cool stuff going on just in the pilot, and a lot of things happen in the pilot. So I hope that they slow down a little bit, which is odd for the Flash, but I hope they slow down and keep it where the story unfolds naturally rather than speeding to a conclusion.
I think another thing I think is really cool. And excuse me, John.
No.
But it's the news we've gotten in the last couple of weeks of them, because we knew they were bringing Barry Shep back into to play his father.
Right.
So that tip of the hat to that one season original Flash TV show, which I own on DVD. And then recently finding out that Amanda Pays is coming back and she's going to play the same character.
Yep.
I love that. I think that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me hope that they're going to do something Speed McGee related.
Yes.
Yes. From that, her husband.
Right.
Ends up being Speed McGee and a villain for the Flash. I don't know how that's going to play out on the series, but that'd be cool if they link that in. Maybe linked in other speedsters.
Yes.
They can fully avoid the Russian speedster team. I always thought they were kind of dumb, but occasionally link in other speedsters from one thing or another.
Right. But let's not have Mark Hamill back to reprise his role as the trickster.
No.
No, he's busy. He's busy with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Mark's a little old and punchy.
Exactly. Right.
If you've seen him recently, I don't think he could fit the trickster costume anymore.
But speaking of Flash and Arrow, the CW president teased some potential more spinoffs. In an interview, he said that basically in Flash and Arrow they're going to be testing characters out to see if they can have room to grow into another show. And obviously no details yet, but it is something that they're looking forward to. I mean, obviously Arrow's been super successful. They pretty sure that Flash is going to be equally successful, so I think that'd be very interesting.
Suicide Squad!
There you go.
Exactly.
Yep.
The Suicide Squad show, I'd love it if they rebirthed Birds of Prey.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
'Cause we got Canary already.
Oh, please, yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
They got Canary, they got Huntress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they need is
a
a Batgirl. Yeah. Oracle, yeah.
Oracle, right.
And actually, if they wanted to keep it within the show, they could let Felicity
be Oracle. Yeah.
Oracle, yep.
That would be
it
perfect.
might piss people off, but, they could have Felicity be Oracle, send them out on missions and stuff like that.
Hey,
And if people complain, they can you point them to the first take of Birds of Prey and you go, would you rather have this or that?
Yeah. Or just say, hey,
take a Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Or say, hey, they did it with Chloe on Smallville. Get over it.
Exactly. There's no Bat characters in this universe. Get over it.
Yeah, right.
Wait, there are. They're supposed to have Nightwing pop up eventually.
That is true. Yeah. Well, I mean, he can't be in Gotham, obviously, so, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, that would be weird, but okay. But yeah, that'd be cool.
We're assuming that Gotham is not in the same timeline as Arrow.
Yeah, it can't.
God, I hope not.
You'd have a Batman that's much younger than the rest of the heroes. So
yeah, that would make no sense at all.
That would mess up continuity big time.
Yeah. Let's hope that none of the other shows are in the same, because that would be really weird. Constantine and the coming up Supergirl and anyway. Shifting gears for a minute. Big Hero 6 released a new trailer. This still looks a lot of fun to me. I want to see it. I don't care.
Marvel's not supporting it at all.
I know.
They honestly forgot they owned it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I like this new complete, this full of trailers, but like this the complete trailer.
Right.
I was interested in seeing the film just with its shorter version, but after seeing this one, it's pretty much a lock. I'm going to be at the theater seeing this.
Yeah.
It looks like fun.
Obviously it's done for laughs, so.
Yeah.
Plug your brain and go with it.
Yeah, I mean, we need some of those kind of movies every once in a while. So.
Yeah, we don't need angst all the time. We can have just a fun one occasionally.
So November 7th for that one. It looks a lot of fun. Gordon, what do you think?
Nope.
I mean, it does look like a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not as familiar with Big Hero 6, but that trailer, I think I'm starting to warm to the movie a little more. So.
Okay. Well, this next headline I picked up just for Gordon. New trailer for Jupiter Ascending, starring Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum.
Look at his tattoo.
Oh yeah, he's got.
He's buff with his tattoo and his gun.
He compared himself to a dog in this film. I'm just opening it up for you, Gordon.
An atomic dog?
Gordon just hung up on this.
Don't worry. No. I didn't hang up. It's.
Okay.
Let's just say that on a short story I'm working on, I will have my revenge.
Okay.
I mean, the great thing about writing a private eye tale is that you can give someone the name a fictitious name like
There you go.
Kate
Tatum Channing? Yeah.
and have your detective aim a gun and just empty a full clip into the guy.
Oh man. You know, Channing Tatum aside, which, you know, he's never good in movies for me personally, it's not my taste. I think our listeners know how we feel about Channing Tatum. But that aside, this movie actually looks kind of interesting, I have to say.
Well, I mean, it caught me with, it's really a huge space opera.
Mm-hmm.
And I was that familiar with it until I saw this trailer.
Right.
And then it started to fall into place what the story, plot, and line was, and I went, "Oh, this is really fun." I mean, this is an old-fashioned Star Wars, Star Trek space opera. That's all it is, people. Fantasy elements and whatever. Again, like I said, that intrigued me to no end, and understanding the plot was awesome as to what Mila Kunis' actual role is in the film and the center of it. And you know what? Big surprise. We've grown with Tatum being there, but up until now, I wasn't aware Sean Penn was in it. And that's
I want to take
me.
Yeah, I want to take bets to when he dies.
Within the first 10 minutes, no doubt.
Of course. He can't make it through half the movie. That just
right.
That ruined his reputation.
Exactly. He has to die every time. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how he's doing that series.
We're watching it. Yeah, I got to tell you guys, that's the most suspenseful show on television for no other reason. My wife and I watch it, and she doesn't get it. But every time we watch it, I'm on pins and needles waiting for him to buy it.
Yeah, really. Waiting for someone just to shoot him down.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen.
We're 5 episodes into it. He comes close every week.
I will go see Jupiter Ascending, but only if someone aims a gun at him, but they end up shooting Channing Tatum by mistake.
Yeah. But,
Channing jumps in front of him. No!
But, yeah, aside from him, it looks like a really fun movie, so I'm, if you can get past Channing Tatum in the lead male role, you'll be fine.
Segway!
All right. So,
as we promised.
Yes, it's time to talk some comics.
Hey, real ones.
Yeah, not the ones on the screen.
The ones you flip.
Exactly. Yes. So, Ron, what has had you interested, excited?
Yeah, really. Easy for me this week, guys, because I got the first issue of a new Image title from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips called The Fade Out.
Okay.
And this is a murder mystery that takes place in Hollywood in like the 1940s, early 50s. Very, very atmospheric, period piece. Mm-hmm. And like I said, issue 1 is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, it's some of the best writing Brubaker's ever done. The art is so appropriate to this. And this is a classic mystery series. So, hey, really, I'm excited about this. I'm glad we have, we're doing the feature in the show today. The cover, in fact, has a typewriter on it with blood seeping over the keys.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. The Fade Out from Image Comics, #1 is out. Major thumbs up on this, guys.
Very cool. John, what about you?
I'm not reading a lot new
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm reading more old stuff, but one new thing I did pick up, and it may be a couple of months old actually, but Sensation Comics #1
Oh, featuring Wonder Woman.
Featuring Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, the non-New
I don't know how many
version. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Oracle's back in her, I assume wheelchair, or actually she's on some sort of lift chair in this thing, but it's Oracle back in front of her computers where she belongs. And, apparently Batman got blowed up.
Ooh.
Okay.
We're not sure. The Batmobile was blown up, and he doesn't appear in the comic at all. But Oracle calls in some help, and the help she calls is Wonder Woman. And the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, Man-Bat, Riddler, Poison Ivy, and Two-Face have all kind of gotten together to raise havoc in Gotham, and the first thing they do is when the Batmobile rounds the corner, they blow it up. So Oracle calls in Wonder Woman. She calls in Zatanna too, but Zatanna, or actually I think Zatanna might have been too busy. They show briefly like every hero that she could have called, and then she actually calls in Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman pretty much cleans the place up in a hurry.
Nice.
She gets a little help from Catwoman and little help from Harley, but not much. Most of it's her kicking butt on her own.
Yeah. Now, is this like pre-New 52 continuity, or is it just its own thing?
It seems to be. I mean, you've got a brief vision of Flash, Superman, and Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. You've got Oracle. Assuming she's still crippled, she's in a giant computer bay with screens that go from floor to ceiling, and she's in something that looks a little bit like the Mobius chair. But it's on a pole or a spike or something, and she slides up and down, I guess. And you've got Oracle, and then not Oracle, I'm sorry. You have Zatanna and that little sidekick girl that she recruited right before the New 52.
Okay.
You remember in her little her separate series that they were doing?
Right.
And it's apparently all pre-52 villains. So
I've heard oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, but Riddler's being a bad guy in this instead of being that pseudo detective.
Yeah. That
he was doing before. So it seems like that, and it is the pre-New 52 Harley. She's got her full body Harlequin costume on. So instead of that, the game inspired costume that she's running around in now.
Right.
Is this the one I was reading about this, reading an article? Was there a panel that had, and this might have been a whole other issue where there's like a glimpse of the pre-52 Superman with red trunks. There was a couple of huge blatant references to a universe before this one. Because I read something somewhere. Yeah, and I read something somewhere where Booster Gold, you see like the 52 version and the pre-52 version at some point. And there's, everyone's talking about, does this mean a return back to the pre-52 universe? To which I say, God, I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see Booster anywhere. There are actually two stories in this. There's kind of the main story and then the secondary story where she's dealing with centaurs and what's that villain's name? Okay, it's the one that turns people into animals. I can't find her name. Cersei, yeah, she's dealing with Cersei, and Cersei's in that kind of pinkish costume with the headpiece that goes kind of all around, and it just covers her face. So yeah, this looks like all pre-New 52 stuff. Booster may have been in the next episode, or next issue, but he wasn't in this. You do see Batman at the very, very end of the episode, so he's not dead or anything. Which is no surprise. But yeah, the rest of it looks all pre-New 52. It is Superman in the red trunks. It's Hal Jordan. Well, I guess he's in the New 52 part too, but it is Superman in the normal, standard, classic costume, I guess you would call it. You've got Poison Ivy. She's wearing the kind of bikini sort of thing, the strapless bikini thing, and the arm flowers instead of the like strategically placed leaves that she wears most of the time. So yeah, I think this is all that. So, and yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good read, all in all. The only thing that really topped it for me is I was never into Gotham Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Gotham Academy, crap. Avengers Academy.
Okay.
Gotham Academy is coming up, actually.
Yeah.
But Avengers Academy. But I did find the trade paperback for the last several issues for cheap, and I picked it up and actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Cool. This has nothing to do with anything, but speaking of Booster Gold, his Futures End title came out this week, and I haven't read it yet, but I heard that it has big implications on future things, and I don't know.
And that's where I think the article I read was talking about all these revelations that the pre-52 universe was still out there.
Right.
Because the thing that the book that I read that really caught my attention was the Futures End Earth 2 one shot, where it focuses on Michael Holt, who he has essentially these weapons called the God Killer, and you've got presumably the Terry Sloan of Earth 2, and the premise is that 5 years in the future, people have evacuated Earth 2, and they're on the New 52 Earth, and one of the Terry Sloans actually creates a set of goggles where you can tell non-Earthers, people from the different universe from people from our universe. And they set it up so that Michael Holt is seen as someone who's from the other universe. But complications arise, and Michael Holt takes these goggles, looks at the one Terry Sloan, because it's Terry Sloan, who's like now a bad guy. He's flying away, and these goggles, if you're not from, green is their universe, red is you're from the other universe. He sees a Terry Sloan flying away, and he's like yellowish orange. And Holt asks, "Hey, wait a second. He once said that he would save the world. I wonder which world he meant."
Yeah.
So I think they may be heading towards if not an integration, at least a step towards, that whole new pre-52 universe is still out there.
Nice. The other important thing about this sensation is it's written by Gail Simone. So she's back on that.
Yeah. The whole it's really interesting about this the multiversity thing that Grant Morrison's doing, because I don't know how they're tying all this in together, but there are several. He's like outlined all the different worlds that are in the New 52, all those 52 Earths, and there's one that's undefined that the pre-New 52. Yeah, the pre-New 52 Earth went by that indication, but we don't know which one that one is now. So it is possible that it's still out there, and I'm very curious to see how they play with that.
I'd be perfectly fine if they kept doing some New 52 stories, but also did some stories on the other Earth, on the regular, the DC Earth that we've had for the past 75 years or whatever.
Please.
I'd be happy if they were doing some stories there and, some stories in the New 52. I'd be completely fine with that, because I would go back and I would buy the non-New 52 story.
There you go. All right.
Because I'm not buying a New 52 story. Although I did pick up a couple of issues of Suicide Squad, the first and second issue, but I haven't read them yet.
Oh, okay. I still enjoy some of their stuff, but not all. Anyway, the book I was going to talk about this week is Daredevil by Mark Waid. It's up to issue 8 now of the relaunch since Daredevil moved out to California. And, it's Mark Waid, it's Daredevil. He does a fantastic job on the series. The latest arc that just started with the latest issue 8, features the Purple Man. And apparently the Purple Man has sired a bunch of children by different women, and now that they're a little bit older, he's gone to collect them.
Oh no.
And so all these purple children have his abilities, and he unites them together. And I don't want to give too much away, but once they realize that they're together and they're stronger, they kind of do a little payback on old daddy. And it's very interesting. I can't wait to see where it goes with this. But the purple children are just terrifying in that kind of classic horror way to me, because they're all silent and very somber, and they don't speak much and stuff, and it's kind of eerie. And meanwhile, Daredevil's everybody knows Matt Murdock is Daredevil, so they're like always requesting Daredevil to be their lawyer, even though they have, the former assistant district attorney of New York as his partner.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a fun series. Yeah.
I'm assuming Persuasion doesn't show up. I'm assuming he didn't go get her from Canada, the one that was in Alpha Flight.
No.
Okay.
No, not yet. Anyway. So. And I don't know now if he'll be getting anybody. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I seriously thought Jessica Jones kicked his butt.
Well, yeah, I think he disappeared for a while and he just popped up now. So
okay,
it was a good issue. You should check it out.
Nice, I will.
Yeah. All right, so that's our comic chat for this week. I guess we'll call it that. Why not? Alliteration, folks. All right, so that brings us to topic time.
Topic time.
It's topic time.
And comes as no surprise. We already been talking about film and TV. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is back on the air. Gotham debuted. So our topic time is about those two shows in particular.
I mean, like you thought we were going to do something else. Give me a break.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Come on. Do you know us?
What was it?
During
Who
the
was
premiere?
Grant?
Well,
Guys, according to the agenda I got, we're going to go in depth into all the seasons of Call the Midwife. So are we changing this?
I think so.
I think you. I don't know what show you're on, Gordon.
Yeah.
You're from you might be from the New 52 Earth.
There you go.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Right.
What were you gonna say, Ron?
No, didn't you and Comic Frontline basically tape watching Gotham?
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We were. Yeah,
okay.
we watched it live as it aired, and of course, I had to have it on closed captioning so they couldn't hear the TV. But I kind of read it the first time through and watched it again later. But yeah, no, it was fun. We got to comment during the episode and everything, and I think they were all kind of skeptical through that first season, and I think they all got on board for this season, so that's good.
So which one do we want to go with first?
Let's go with Gotham first.
Okay. Yeah, hey, and all of us, what did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah. Well, before we get into this, in case anybody wants to check it out, I did a very long written review on Comic Related, and Ron and Gordon were kind enough to give me some feedback in the forums. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. Obviously, we'll get into that here. But John, I kind of wanted to hear what you think first.
Oh, I loved it. It hit all the right notes for me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it hit all the right notes. I thought the characterizations were perfect. I still hate the name Fish Mooney. I think it's the stupidest name I've ever heard for a character, especially for a character like that.
Yeah, but penguins eat fish. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that's why they named her Fish.
You think so? Do you think he's gonna actually eat her at some point?
Figuratively.
Figuratively eat her up. Yeah, but yeah, just the stupidest name on record, even worse than Chico and the Man. But no, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Wow. I'm actually surprised.
Apparently you guys didn't.
We're not overly. In fact, we're all giving this thumbs up, John.
Yeah.
But you tend to, of the four of us, I tend to be a little more critical than the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like flip-flopped here.
Yeah, no. It hit all the notes perfectly for me.
Are you sure you watched the same episode that all three of us did, John?
That's what I'm wondering.
This is not the one with the guy who's immortal and he's got the Latina cop. That's not the show we're talking about. It's also not the one about Ichabod Crane with his sheriff compadre fighting demons. This isn't the other one at all.
Oh wait, I must be confused then.
Yeah.
It's fine. I absolutely love. No, I mean, I was already to hate. I was already to hate the Bullock character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because Bullock, Donald, I can't remember his last name.
Donald Logue.
Thank you. Isn't my envision of Bullock? Bullock to me, should be more heavy set, more. Slovenly, and he's not really.
Right.
He's lackadaisical, but he's not, that kind of big slovenly, character that you saw that was still, had his good side and all that, but I ended up really liking him, towards the end. And, I thought it was great the way Gordon dealt with Penguin.
This is not the conversation I thought I was going to be having with you. This is so funny. I don't understand.
Sorry, message vision, but I love it.
Somebody said something, and maybe John falls right into that category, because I was reading other reviews online, after the show aired, pro and con. And one guy wrote a review, and towards the end of his review, he kept talking about how it surprised him. And then made this comment, which I thought was rather insightful, was that, maybe a lot of the hype before the show gave a lot of us fans low expectations, and that's how we got pleasantly surprised, rather than the inverse of wanting something you think is going to be great, then it turns out to fall, below that barrier. Whereas maybe fandom in general had low expectations of this show. And, as John said, it fired on all cylinders and won a lot of people over.
I think that definitely played into even my own opinion of it. I think I had very low expectations going into it as well. We've all talked about the show leading up to it, kind of panned it here and there for, just feeling like it was going to be terrible. I think that definitely played into it. I think it was a pleasant surprise that it wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. For me, I gave it a 3.25 in my review out of 5. So it was kind of in the middle of the road for me, a little bit above average. I did enjoy it, but for me it still had some flaws. I didn't like the guy that played Harvey Bullock, for one. I don't like that actor. I think he overacts, and I think Jada Pinkett Smith overacted as well. I don't like them. So, yeah, and there were some other flaws. I'm not going to still all the time go into all the detail.
You pointed out, too, in your review that I agreed, but I, again, wrapped it up by saying that I liked it more than you did.
Okay.
To a greater degree. Out of a 5, I'd probably give it a 4 easily. The 2 points that you brought up that I totally agreed with, though, was it seemed like they wanted to get way too many characters in this opening episode that weren't really necessary to the story. Yeah, I mean, it was like, okay, well, isn't this cool? It's like, we're going to give you all these Easter eggs. And the most blatant to me was the Riddler, all right? Enigma pops up, and, oh, isn't that cute? He's the Riddler. And I'm like, okay. But it really doesn't serve the plot of the story one iota.
Yeah. So
that could have been saved for episode 2 or 3 where you want to develop him and bring him in. But sticking to this particular story, and then, you get the, Catwoman, Selena Kyle jumping up and down and around, all right? Which, obviously is going to play into the mystery later again. But, man, it was like sensory overload. Let's give them all these characters. Now, that was one critique I had. The second, and again you mentioned it, was where is this taking place?
Yeah.
Because it looks like the Gotham of the first Batman movie ever with what's his name, Michael Keaton, and then it turns around and looks like something out of one of the Chris Nolan Batmans. And then is it a period piece? Well, it can't be because he's using a cell phone.
Right.
So it was like they were trying again to address all of this in this mishmash. All right, which I'm like scratching my head, going, okay, all right. It didn't so much bother me as it was a distraction to the story.
Exactly.
And those were the two elements that I didn't like. Everything else, though, guys, and what I finished telling you guys, Brant, in my comments on Comic Related. What absolutely won me over, and it's the guy playing Gordon, I think is amazing. I think he's so playing it right on the money, all right? Yeah. And the kid blew me away. I was not ready for that, to the point where the few scenes they have, and again, I'm glad they didn't overdo them. You get the scene in the alley, which is, he's caught up in the grief and everything else. And then we get an Alfred who's a lot different than any other. He's a lot grittier Alfred than we've had before, which I really appreciated. But the closing sequence between the two of them, when Jim goes and confesses he didn't catch the killer. Mm-hmm. All right. He tells him up front. And the kid looks at him, right? And he to the point of resigning, he puts his badge down in front of the kid. Yeah. And young Bruce looks at him. And whoever the director is and whoever the casting people are who hired this young fella, this young actor, are geniuses. Because at that point, my wife is like watching the show, but at the same time, like reading a newspaper kind of thing. Right. She's like back and forth. When that scene came on, the paper went down. All right. And the kid's acting in reaction to Gordon's comments, you see his eyes. And immediately he's thinking everything through. Every single nuance, everything Gordon's told him and what it's going to mean to him, to this case, everything. And I'm going, oh, my God, he's totally different than that kid in the alley. He's becoming Batman. Yeah. And it was right there. It was in the kid's face. There was so much going on behind those eyes. It was incredible. From that point on, it was like, I'll be back next week. I want to see where this goes. My hope is that they judiciously play up that relationship with the two of them and don't give us a whole lot of it. This is a crime story. This is a cop story. Let's play up a lot of those aspects and stay with that tone.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think for me, the standouts were him, the actor played Alfred, Ben McKenzie as Gordon, which I think he made Gordon even tougher than Gordon is portrayed in most other things that we've seen him in. I think he really brought some some great life to that character, and he kind of showed him. I don't know. He just made me like Gordon even more than I already did. And the Penguin, the guy that played the Penguin, I thought he was for me, he was the standout in the show. I thought it was brilliant. So, Gordon, what did you think?
Well, I'm kind of in. Obviously, I'm in the camp with you and Ron. Mm-hmm. I liked it, but there are some things that I found very wrong with it. To the point where I'm wondering, John, did you not? I'm wondering if John not only drank the Kool-Aid, but tried to actually suck the crystals off from the bottom of the glass.
Always.
The first thing that bothered me was this. I think this show is going to need quite a bit of work. The first thing it needs to do is, I'm hoping that all the Batman cameos in the first episode stop.
Yes.
That they parcel those out, because it really felt like Bruno Heller had those in just to shut up a network executive. It's like, hey, look, it's Batman. Hey, look. And there's no logical reason for some of them to be there.
Right.
Like, okay, you could have the girl with the plant. Okay, she's Poison Ivy. the Riddler one was way over the top and could have been put off later. There's a very clever one in one of the lead-ins in one of the acts where you hear a comedian tell a very traumatic joke and they cut to him and he's wearing kind of a purplish jacket, so you kind of think. Part of it is, I think there were some real issues with the way it was shot. There's the scene where Gordon's running through a meatpacking plant.
Oh, that was terrible.
They used that. It's like, why do you need that? You don't need that perspective. It just felt like it took me out of it. Some of the effect shots, a couple of the rooftops, and the one scene where you see Cobblepot kind of rise up out of the water looked very cheap, and it's kind of minor pieces, but they take you out of the action. I have to agree. I think Mackenzie does a good job. I think the kid who plays Bruce Wayne does a really good job. What I'm hoping is that now that they're on the air, they can go back to Fox and say, look, we need to focus on this relationship. We need to focus on this overarching theme, which is, old school gangsters are out, new kind of criminals are in. There's going to be a war going on. Mm-hmm. If you do this, if this moves more towards Gotham Central, the series, they've got a hit.
Yep.
If more episodes are, and I'm putting this show, at least for me, on probation. I'll give it another 2 or 3 episodes. But if it keeps up this tone, I'm off. I'm out, because it's one thing you've got a really creative mythos. I think once you have Bruce Wayne and you get the idea that, this is about Gotham pre-Batman, you don't need to throw all these other references in. You really don't.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. Man, I had a point and I just totally left me. Dang.
I did.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was live tweeting, I did say I'm not a fan of the in-your-face cam.
Yeah, I don't know why
that was unnecessary. Yeah, that was unnecessary. I can't.
You don't have to apologize for loving it. Yeah.
No. I loved it. I'm sorry that I didn't have stuff to bitch about on it, but it hit all the.
Hey, it had to happen once in a blue.
Yeah.
He's saving it up for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, not a chance. No, and I had actually high expectations for this. I went in expecting this to be good, and it for the most part, I thought was really good.
Huh. Okay.
So, a few minor things here and there, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think the network overall, the ratings were really decent. Yeah. And again, John, did your wife watch it?
Yeah, she loved it.
See, the same thing. Valerie was like pseudo interested, but as it progressed, they pulled her in. She liked the story.
Now,
she was on her iPad, but then she's always on her iPad. So, I don't know how much actual watching she did.
Yeah,
but.
This doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the show, but one plot point about the episode has me kind of, I'm not sure if I like it or not, which was the implication that there was a deeper relationship between Renee Montoya and Barbara Keene.
Yeah, that falls into...
That's out of the comic.
Isn't it really?
Her being a lesbian.
Well, I know Renee Montoya, but Barbara?
Well, Barbara obviously swings both ways.
Well, I got that impression. I just didn't know that was from the comics, if it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was actually from the comics with Barbara exactly.
Yeah. No.
But rather than having to bring in someone to be Batwoman eventually or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that they went that way to show Montoya's sexuality.
Yeah, no, and that was well done. I think it was very subtle. It was very, you got that implication. It was fine.
Yeah.
It just
Valerie like cocked an eyebrow at me when she heard that line.
Yeah,
and I went, it's in the comic.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it being Gordon's fiance. That's the past relationship.
Hey, I only got one word to say about all that, guys. Threesome.
Good night, everybody.
Not on Fox.
Oh man. But yeah.
No, but this can be a potential plot point later on because there's always the dueling romantic interest, and I think this might bring a unique dimension to it.
Yeah. Yes, there's a dog barking in the background. Sorry.
I was just wondering if they're going to mention Metropolis at all. Because Christmas Allen did come from Metropolis initially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be in Gotham.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
What do you think, dog?
Yeah.
What do you think, dog?
She is giving her opinion.
The minute we start talking sex, though, that's it. The dog barks right up.
The dog. Then.
I think it's more likely the neighbors came home. But speaking of looking forward, there was a couple of clips released, both featuring Selena Kyle and Oswald Cobblepot from episode 2 for next week. Did you guys watch these? I watched both of them.
Yep.
And
the one with Selena played up to what I believe. Okay, and that's if you know one of the things we haven't mentioned. All right, one of the sequences in Gotham's premiere that, and please guys correct me if I'm wrong. All right, but in all the various versions of that iconic murder of Bruce Wayne's parents, I think this is the first we've ever seen filmed where there is a rather unique eyewitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
definitely
Selena Kyle.
Yep.
So, I mean, that caught me by surprise until you start to realize, and when you see that little advanced clip, she knows something about who this killer is.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a linchpin as the season continues of her getting that information to Gordon.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting, and likewise, Oswald Cobblepot's. I just love the way that they're playing this particular character. His rise to how he's like made fun of, and he's just this like kind of a loser character, but he's got this very dark side, and it really comes out.
Psychopath.
He is a psychopath.
God.
Yeah.
And he should be. That's the point. He should be a total psychopath.
Yep.
And I love the way they're playing him. It's just it's brilliant.
Yeah, one funny thing, in the comic that I mentioned, in Sensation, she had the magic lasso around all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they each were dealing with, you know, a certain aspect of their character. And even Harley says they're awful quiet. And she was saying no one is touched by the lasso and not changed. But the one thing that was Penguin, his motivation for everything is ostracization.
Mm.
That he's being ostracized.
Right.
You know, the whole idea that, you know, he was ostracized as a kid. He was always picked on and beat up on.
Right.
Yep.
And, you know, I think that's going to play a lot into the version they're doing here, too, is that he's, you know, he's constantly being, hey, you look like a penguin, you walk like a penguin, you know, and then eventually he'll embrace that. And, you know,
it's such a good story arc that I really hope they mine it and play it out, you know, skillfully. Okay, they plot it out, because I could see in seasons 2 or even 3 where he starts to, you know, build his own criminal empire, which would really set this off.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the best version of Penguin is when he's trying to become that crime boss of Gotham.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
When he's trying to be somebody and gain, you know, respectability and all that stuff.
Right.
And I think the cool thing with Selena, I like her being, you know, this character that sees everything and kind of slinks around and, you know.
Yep.
I think it's incredibly cool that she kept popping up.
Oh,
in one place or another in the series, not saying anything, no dialogue at all, other than you know, talking to the cat for a minute. Yeah. But I thought it was great that she would be popping up all these different places.
Yeah, her I didn't mind. I thought like Gordon and Ron, I thought Edward Nygma was forced, and I thought the Ivy Pepper thing was totally unnecessary.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of waiting to see how that plays out, because we know Edward goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's in forensics right now. He's in forensics in the Gotham PD right now. I kind of see him almost going the Dexter route, but short of, killing people.
Mm-hmm.
But being that kind of, working maybe inside and outside at the same time.
Yeah, possible. Yeah. I just hope they save him. I hope they save him for season 2. I would rather see that happen.
Yeah, I think he'll just pop up occasionally and go, here's the bullet. How is the bullet like a cherry tree or something?
Well, they've already started a little recurring thing if they're smart enough to do it, and that's you saw his obvious distaste for Gordon when Gordon solved his riddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if they brought him back every couple of weeks and the first thing out of his mouth was a new riddle and Gordon solved them every time, that would build up to a real nice slow burn.
Yeah, but because, Bullock was just like, shut up, Nick, and give me the information or whatever.
All right. So, any more conversation on Gotham, Gordon? Anybody?
Nope.
All right.
I'll try to find something to complain about it. I promise.
It's kind of refreshing. You're not
complaining. It is. Don't do that, John. We like that side of you.
It's just surprising. That's all.
I'm sure I'll hate forever or something.
You probably will. Knowing you. All right.
Well, the good thing about John not complaining is that the rest of us got to actually have a conversation about the show.
Yeah, because I so monopolized the show.
All right, so moving on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 premiere. Guys, all right, first I got to ask you, first let me say this. For this discussion, we are spoiling the heck out of this, as we always do when we talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm sorry. If you have not watched it, go watch it first and then come back and listen to this part.
Yeah, leave right now.
Yeah, so the first thing I have to ask you guys, go ahead, Gordon.
I was about to say, here, let me spoil it for the audience. There are agents. They're agents of an organization called S.H.I.E.L.D. Get over it.
There you go. So the first question I have to ask you guys, because I did not catch this on until the end, did you guys see the Simmons thing coming?
Yes.
Did you really?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was
totally coming.
I was totally caught by surprise by that when it was revealed that she wasn't actually really there. I was like, oh my God, no. They did that. Got me.
He talks to people that aren't there. Oh my God. And then it blindsided me totally because I got.
And you mean the Fitz thing, not the Simmons thing.
Well, I mean, Simmons not being there. That's why I said this.
Oh, well, yeah, she's not gone for good.
She's someplace else.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing, but what got me was, and the reason the misdirection really worked so well was how dark this episode was.
Right. Yeah.
Holy smokes. I mean, this thing kept popping up with different scenes that it's like hitting the ground running. I mean, here's Lucy Lawless, and by the end of the show, she's missing an arm?
And dead.
Not dead necessarily.
No, she's not dead.
She looked dead to me.
No.
I told her on Twitter she's not allowed to be dead.
Yeah.
No.
Trust me, they didn't sign her on for the season to be in one episode, Brant.
I was surprised that, I don't know.
And Brant,
she's getting a claw or something. Look out.
Okay.
Yeah, and Brant, I don't know if you caught the very beginning of the episode, but the thing she was holding, I think there's a throwaway line about how it let people transcend death or escape death. So
I may have missed that line, yeah. Even watching it back, I might have missed that line. But yeah, that's possible. Well, I mean, we see the 1945 Nazi soldier looking just like he did back in 1945.
He has an A.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck?
That's
okay.
quite.
Oh man, seeing the Howling Commandos again and Peggy Carter. Yes.
It was just so fantastic. That Fitzsimmons thing where he was hallucinating her the whole time just got me. But yeah, I mean, it was Sky was different. We know there's obviously something that happened between season 1 and season 2 that we're not privy to yet. Because I mean, it just seems like beyond just what happened with Ward and everything, it seems like there's certain steps that we're going to be filled in on as the show progresses.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, look, her going down to talk to Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I mean, I haven't been that creeped out since I saw Silence of the Lamb and Clarice talk to Hannibal through the glass. You understand?
That's the best. I'll let you finish, but I just want to say that's the best acting that actor has done since the show started. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It was like, what do you believe? Okay, absolutely nothing. This guy's the villain. All right, it was a creepy scene, really, really creepy.
It was when he was talking about folding the paper and getting it sharp and everything. It was kind of eerie, and I was like, man, this guy has been holding back this whole time. He's really been playing that straight arrow part, and he's actually a pretty good actor. Yeah.
Bill part beautifully.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I get the idea that Coulson kind of broke him a little bit.
Yeah.
Through his interrogation,
Mm-hmm.
because Ward's positively docile now.
Yeah. And speaking of Coulson, man, he was cold in this episode.
Yeah, he's taken on the director role pretty heavily.
Yeah.
He's having to make those, life or death decisions. It's like, we need backup. No, you don't have any. Go in.
Yeah, or like, I don't care if she's dying, don't abort.
Right. Don't abort. Go.
Wow. And Sky's darker. It was a very dark episode.
And
Sky's becoming major.
As dark as it was, and boy, I tell you, it was. I was like, okay, season 2's not going to be no repeat of season 1. That's for sure.
No.
But I got to tell you guys, the fanboy in me went bananas when Creel showed up.
Oh my God!
And then of course, Lucy Lawless is the one who tags him. All right,
of course,
the absorbing man. I went, yes.
Oh yeah.
He was
and,
so great.
And if the producers of Gotham are listening, that is how you do comic Easter eggs. Thank you very much.
Very, very true.
Totally.
Yeah, especially when he picked up his own wrecking ball.
Yes.
Oh,
such a great homage. And
yeah, it's like, don't have a wrecking ball? Make your own.
I have to admit, when the guards went into that glass cell, I was like, you idiots. Really?
Oh, yeah. Because Kim even asked me, it's like, he turned himself to glass, didn't he? I'm like, yep.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be standing right there, and he's going to pack both of them.
Hey, I tell you, I was a 13-year-old kid again when he was on the screen doing his thing. All right, that's real.
And just when you think the episode's wrapping up, they're driving away, and all of a sudden he just appears in the middle of the street and crashes the. Oh wow, man! And then he's smart enough to turn his hand to rubber before he picks the object up.
Who would have thought he was smart enough to do that?
Yeah.
Because I thought he was going to pick it up and absorb something, but
right.
Yeah.
It's just there was so much to love about this episode.
Yeah, I just love the fact that not only do they go to get the artifact, Coulson had a secondary objective, and we're stealing a Quinjet.
Yeah, exactly, a Quinjet. That's awesome.
I know, it was great. I actually tweeted the showrunners and said, of course everyone's Googling the word Quinjet right now, right?
Oh man, it was just it hit all notes for me. Now, you said Gotham hit all notes for you. This one hit all notes.
Oh, this was perfect too. It hit completely. I loved every second of it.
And the new cast, at first they were like, okay, they're just there. You didn't really know what kind of role they were going to play. But as the show went on, you could tell, especially the guy.
The Aussie guy.
Name. Yeah, the Aussie guy. Especially him. He was. You can kind of tell where he's going to fit in and what kind of role he's going to play in that little makeshift team. Yeah.
He's going to be the Hawkeye guy. The comics Hawkeye guy. He's going to be the wisecracker. He's going
exactly.
To
And it was interesting to me when they found out how many Hydra agents were in hiding. Yeah. How so many more of those there are than the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in hiding.
Yeah.
It's like, Hydra's alive well. Oh man, it was just a fantastic episode. A great way to kick off the season, in my opinion.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
Seemed like it was over way too quick.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's my only criticism of the episode, is that it felt, and it's probably like a standard episode length, but it felt like it was really super short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they gave us a lot of good, meaty stuff that's going to play out for the season, and didn't so much even end. This opening, storyline is basically definitely continued next week. Creel's still on the loose. Lawless has lost her hand. That's got to get taken care of. And, the threads just continue. This is pretty much a two-parter without them officially saying to be continued,
Right. And we see they released a clip of episode 2, and we see that the flower dress girl is back, Raina.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's going to come back into play. They've released the first look of Adrian Palicki as Mockingbird.
Yep.
And, with an interesting revelation, I think maybe she might be a Hydra agent, or she might be double, agent or whatever.
Well, supposedly, according to what I was reading from, that preview and whatever, because I wasn't familiar with the character myself, but apparently she came into the Marvel world as a villain.
Yeah.
And turned eventually.
Yeah, and I think she becomes Hawkeye's wife later on in the comics.
Okay,
Yeah.
so obviously they're taking some cues from that to a degree.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that they're bringing her in because of that connection with Hawkeye. So it's when you think it's kind of like their Green Arrow, Black Canary. That's how Hawkeye and Mockingbird are.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It'll
be interesting to see as the season moves on, especially when we get to the mid point. How much more of the Marvel universe they're going to tease us with upcoming films in production, et cetera, especially Avengers 2.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I do hope they avoid one thing. I do hope they're not waiting around for a movie to
Like
reveal
last year.
something that's going to be integral to the show.
Yeah.
That was their big problem last year. They were waiting around for Winter Soldier too long.
Yeah, and it wasn't evident until those couple episodes leading up to it. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay. And
Well, I think the next Marvel movie is Ultron in summer 2015, right?
Right.
So they could actually use the show. Because my big theory is those weird alien kind of electronic graphic things.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to factor into the creation of Ultron.
Oh,
That's just my personal theory.
Could be.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. But yeah, as long as they don't wait for that, because that'd be in their season break anyway. So
Right.
Yeah.
hopefully, all is well, and we'll just get this full season. Well, of course they're going to do the mid-season break. Yeah.
Right. And the fun of this second season is that we already know that once we get to the end of it, we'll be kicking off Peggy Carter, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, which we get that first glimpse at, like we mentioned, and that was just fantastic seeing her and the Howling Commandos. It was just for a split second, but it was fine for me. I loved it.
It was good, yeah.
And they hinted to the creation of S.H.I.E.L.D. and keeping Stark in check and all this stuff, and it was just so much to love.
And the first 08 too, which was cool.
Yeah. So
the only other thing I want for this is I want Hill to come back for some reason.
Yeah.
Could just be for an episode, but I want her to come back.
Yes.
She's not doing
Preferably in a skin-tight black cat suit.
There you go.
There you go.
Is she doing anything else right now? At all?
Well, you mean the actress? Not that I can think of.
Except for, obviously,
Well, there were early press releases, in the last few months that she would be back in season 2 and have a bigger presence than we've had in season 1. So,
yeah,
those are all good vibes.
She is one of the few people they can trust.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
I just looked up her. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that they know they can trust without reservation.
Right.
Yep.
I just looked up her IMDb, and she's got 2 movies coming out next year, and both of them are in post-production. So.
Oh, okay, so
she's
he's free.
Yeah, exactly. So bring her back. But we'll definitely be tuning in next week, no doubt about it. Mockingbird's first appearance will be on the October 21st episode, which I believe will be episode 5. So there you go. Any more on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Only keep it coming.
Yes, please.
Keep it good, and I like the move to 9 o'clock. Stay there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Flash is debuting in a few weeks, so they kind of...
Yeah, so stay there.
They'd be very foolish not to.
Oh, man, the old DVRs are going to be humming this season.
I'm telling you.
I know.
All right. right, so that brings us to the last part of the show where we go around the table and see what everybody has coming up, coming out, and going on. Gordon, what you got?
Oh, let's see. I'm starting work on the Chicago TARDIS charity auction to benefit Northern Illinois Food Bank. If you have any items or would like more information, email me at auction@chicagotardis.com. Also have my short story, Crossing McCausland, is in Pro Se Productions Tall Pope. You can buy it on as a trade paperback or as a Kindle book. So buy it, read it, make me a rich man.
All right. Ron?
Nothing coming out directly. I've spoken in the past. I'm working on a couple of comic book projects for Moonstone. Been working on some Black Bat comics, which feature a slew of pulp cameos. There's 2 series in the works. One is called Black Bat Domino Lady Danger Coast to Coast, which Brant is lettering. And just to let you know, Brant, I'm now seeing pages of the second half of the story from Mike Dorman, and they look absolutely phenomenal. And then I'm doing this other thing called Guns of the Black Bat, which is, again, another 2-parter. And hopefully, maybe one of these might be out by the end of the year. I really don't know Moonstone's, schedule, but it'd be nice to see one of those out by the end of the year. In the meantime, I'm busting my chops at Airship 27. We haven't put out a new book in almost 2 months, which, is one of those things that happens in the publishing field, waiting for, writers' contributions and art and whatever. But the big news, and, I should put this out here, as of the 1st of October, my partner in crime, and that's the phenomenal Mr. Rob Davis, our art director, is retiring from his day job.
Oh, wow.
So big news for that. Big changes in Rob's life, and big changes are going to happen in Airship 27. Believe me, once Rob is no longer ball and chain to the day job, we've got a lot of plans for new titles and some of the things that we want to get out between now and the end of the year. So that's what I got going on, guys.
Awesome. Very cool. John, what about you?
Let's see. I don't think I have too much new to mention. I finished all the characters on the children's book I'm doing with my former teacher friend. Now I just got to wait on her to decide whether she wants to do it as an animation script, which I'm against, or a storybook, which I'm all for, because John don't animate. So there's that. Let's see. I keep getting waylaid on putting out my second and third things on the Woman in Red. Other things keep getting in the way, but I do have them. They'll come out soon. I'm in the middle of writing that. Also in the middle of character design for Pneumatic Cases, my steampunk story that I've decided just to venture with myself instead of waiting on the rest of the world to come around to it. Beyond that, gosh, what else is there? Of course, every day at themightycomicrelated.com. Check that out. And I am writing, not quite as we speak, but I was writing before we got on, and I'll have to continue later to write that opening for the collected webcomic series of Salt. For Christopher Epling. He asked me to write the introduction, and for some silly reason I agreed. So so there is that. Other than that, I'm kind of working on a few portfolio pieces dealing with dots and using words to make images, to make art out of. So that's happening too. Other than that, that's it for me right now.
Cool.
Having a Skype that doesn't work half the time, but other than that, that's it for me right now.
Very true. All right. So for me, one more reminder about the new Comic Day Kickstarter. It's just under 2 weeks left. If you'd like to support it, go check it out. Eric recently updated the page detailing where the money is going if it is successful. And
just therapy vacation, right?
That'd be nice. And in case anybody doesn't know, or you you haven't listened to the show for the past couple of weeks, the New Comic Day website, which was down for a few weeks, is back up with a new design, so please check it out. John, I'll toss this in because John forgot. John is coloring New Comic Day now.
I just mentioned that when you were talking. It's like, oh yeah, I colored that.
Right. So he's actually colored the last 3. Is that right? 2 or 3?
2 or 3, and
Yeah. So blame him. No.
Blame me if you don't like. Actually, blame Brant because I send him in and he changes everything.
I don't change everything. Anyway, so
do you still have purple pants in the last one?
No.
So.
Well, John, maybe the character isn't intended to have purple pants. Maybe what you consider changes, Brant considers sanity.
And I'm going to let you in on a little something. I did his pants one color. He made them purple, like 3 strips back. I just made it again for continuity.
It wasn't the Hulk purple that you put him in. It's like, I don't know. Anyway.
Purple works, man.
Hey, we have a whole website that's purple based, so whatever. ComicRelated.com, everybody. Speaking of Comic Related, next Wednesday, October 1st, is the 10-year anniversary of ComicRelated.com.
Woohoo! Yay!
We have no idea what we're doing 5 days out. So we've talked about it 7 days ago, and we have no idea still. So we'll see what happens, but it is a celebration because, 10 years of doing this, we've made a lot of friends, had a lot of great times doing this site, so.
Only 1 or 2 enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Checkmore has a lot of gray hairs.
Well, yeah.
Oh, speaking of which.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Chuck! Yes!
Yes, as this episode goes live, as we're recording it, because we're recording on live day this week, it is Chuck Moore's birthday. So,
happy birthday.
35.
39. He wishes.
Oh, shoot. But go swing by his Facebook page and leave him a happy birthday note, if you will, or swing by our forums, either way, however you want to do it. And the final thing for me is an update on Henchman Inc. 2 from Monkey Brain that I am lettering and actually flatting. It is near completion, so hopefully soon it will be off to Monkey Brain. I know people have been asking me about it when the next issue's coming out. If it's still coming out, and I can guarantee you it will be, there will be some extras, some pinups and stuff like that in it as well. So you'll be able to find that through Monkey Brain on Comixology. Is a digital release, so please be on the lookout for that. Written by Tim Simmons with art by Jim McMunn. The second issue looks fantastic. So yeah, I'll give you an update once we have a release date on that. So that's all for me for this week. So with that said, it's time to say goodbye, and I think I'll read this out this time because I haven't done it in a long time. So, we'd like to once again thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Raywall Band, and Society's Plague that you hear on the show each and every week, when I remember to put them in. We are also proud members of the Comic Related Podcast Network. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for us, or you'd like to ridicule John for actually having something positive to say for once, you can send those to Zone4 at ComicRelated.com. And as always, thanks for listening. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You are now leaving Zone 4.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.